5 college football picks. Honestly, I've been looking at some boring games this week. But hey, last week was crazy, and they weren't great games, so we'll see. Friday Night Lights looking good this week. Miami, Duke, both are undefeated at the moment. I think Duke takes this one. Miami was really close to losing last week, and I just think Duke has a better quarterback. And Duke's always been a decent football team in the ACC. I think Duke will always carry on that tradition of being a decent football team. But I liked Miami and their athletes, but I don't. For this game, I just think Miami hasn't played enough yet, and I think Duke's on a roll. So I think Duke will take this one tonight. It's in Duke as well, so I think it'll go to Duke. I like what Duke's not really doing much on the receiving end, but I still think Duke will get this in the fourth quarter. You know, it'll be a close game. It'll be very, very fun. USC versus Washington State. This is gonna be a great game. USC not playing too well lately. You know, I talked about this last week with them having too many young kids. I just think the problem here is they just have a lot of inexperience all over the place, and they're trying to figure it out. And they played Cal last week, and Sam Darnold didn't play like himself. And this week, I think Sam Darnold will return to form again. See, it's hard because USC plays inconsistently, so you don't know which USC is going to show up. I think USC will show up in the second half of this game, and I think they'll blow away Washington State. I think it's a little bit of a trap game, so they need to be a little bit careful early on, especially knowing that they don't have a bye week. They need to be a little bit more careful. Northwestern versus Wisconsin. Northwestern's always been a solid Big Ten team, good team they are. But Wisconsin's defense is really, really good, and Alex Hornibrook is really developing right now. So I don't see Northwestern pulling the upset. I think Wisconsin will get this one. I think it's going to be a blowout. I think Wisconsin's going to come in, they're going to get their business done at home, and they're going to await Penn State or someone and try to wait for business. Who knows? They can make a couple of big upsets. They can make the playoff. They were really close last year. They came that close to beating Ohio State last year. So I think it's something to look out for. South Florida, East Carolina. South Florida's playing well. East Carolina actually put up a fight in the first half against Virginia Tech, but I just don't see East Carolina. I like what Charlie Strong is doing with South Florida. He's making them play hard. He's making them play well, and they're excelling off of it. They have a good rusher, Darius Tice. So I think South Florida will beat East Carolina. I think it'll be a blowout. I think South Florida will probably blow away in like the second quarter or something. Don't like these non-conferences this week. Vanderbilt, Florida. So Vandy, I know they got an upset last week, I'm pretty sure, on somebody. No, last week they played Alabama. Never mind. Florida will win this game, I think, after that amazing Hail Mary last week. Or was it last week? I don't know, it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, after the amazing Hail Mary they had 1 week or 2 weeks ago. They play Vandy, and I think they'll win this one. I know Kyle Shermer's been playing well, but they got shut out by the Alabama defense 59-0 last week, obviously. And I think the Florida defense is equally as strong, so I think Florida will get this. I think Florida will get this one. I think it'll be another close game. I think it'll be a last-second field goal. Indiana, Penn State. Penn State played really, Penn State's been playing well, so Indiana's always a feisty team. This could potentially be a trap game for them again, but I think since they're at home, this will, Trace McSorley and Saquon Barkley will take care of business. I really like what they're doing down there. They're Rappaport together, and they're building, and they still have a midseason test, but I like what they're doing so far. It's working, and it's very efficient. Georgia, Tennessee. I think Georgia takes this one. Tennessee proved they were bad in that Florida loss. They missed 3 field goals, which would have won them the game. That, and they make a lot of mental mistakes, and they're a young team, so they're not playing exceptionally well. And I see Georgia right now, and I see the way they're playing, and they got a good running back, and the way they're functioning, and the way they've got things going right now is really, really well. So personally, I just think Georgia is on another level right now. But I don't know how Georgia's going to do against the Alabamas and the Floridas. Or not Floridas, but well, they did beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame's place. So we'll see. I think it's going to be interesting for Georgia, but I think they get this one against Tennessee. Tennessee's been kind of, I don't know, they slid in that Florida loss, so I don't know if I can really trust them again. Murray State versus Louisville. Louisville. Lamar Jackson. Yeah, this would be easy win for him. Lamar Jackson will add to his Heisman resume. Louisville's getting all these cupcake opponents, but none of this is really gonna boost their resume. So this is back at their house again. This one's actually kind of more because it's a different timing, but Louisville will get this one. Lamar Jackson, I think, will toss like 4 or 5 touchdowns or run for a couple, and I think they'll cream Murray State. Getting the easy opponents. Miami OH versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame's ranked, dang. Notre Dame, they lost to Georgia, but this is a week non-conference, so they'll easily win this one. I think it'll be like a 3-4 touchdown game coming out of it. I think Notre Dame is just going to run all over them, wide receivers. Everyone's going to go crazy in this game. It's going to be a complete game, and it's going to be a complete blowout. It won't be fun to watch, but it's on Mississippi State, Auburn. Mississippi State surprised a lot by taking down LSU, but I just think they'll get this one as well because Auburn doesn't have a great offense, and personally, I just don't think Auburn has been that much of a good team since both Cam and Nick Marshall left. I just think they've kind of dropped off a little bit, and I don't like the way they're going because the only thing they really need in that Gus Malzahn system is a quarterback, and that's the only thing they haven't had for so many years now. So I'm not really thrilled with the direction that program is going in, but they'll turn it around. But in this game, I gotta go with the cowbell. I just see Mississippi State's actually building a young team right now, and I think they have a solid quarterback. So I just think Mississippi State will get this in the fourth quarter. It'll be close because I think Auburn, they have a solid defense. So I think it'll be close. It'll go all the way to the end, and then Auburn will do its thing and choke. Like they choked against Clemson and stuff. Troy, LSU. They just keep winning because they have all these weak ass teams playing them. Yeah, LSU will win. Darius Juice will probably go off in this game. Probably a 3 touchdown win. But I'm not really sure. Because LSU, you never really know. LSU's just LSU. But they'll get this one. Running game will be strong. They'll be strong. They'll be solid. So, Ohio State, Rutgers. Rutgers almost knocked off Washington one week, but that was a huge trap game. But I just don't see it happening this year for Rutgers. So I think Ohio State, J.K. Dobbins' breakout game. I feel like I think he's gonna catch a lot. I mean, not catch a lot, run a lot. And I just think they're gonna run all over him, get 2-3 touchdowns with J.K. Dobbins this week. I think it's gonna be his freshman moment. So I think Ohio State, they're a great team. As of right now, they did get creamed by Oklahoma, but as of right now, at the Big Ten competition, they still have a really likely chance to get in the playoffs. So, Clemson, Virginia Tech. This is the game of the week on ABC. Virginia Tech is a really solid team. Clemson can't just fuck around with them. Virginia Tech is really good on offense and defense. So, Virginia Tech's always been a solid team in that ACC. I think this one will be really, really hotly contested. I think it'll go all the way up until the fourth quarter, and I think it'll come up to whether Kelly Bryant can once again perform on the road or if he chokes. Because I feel like the whole success of that team is hindered on the quarterback, and I don't know if Kelly Bryant can get it done. It's just, I like the dude, but can he get the job done? Is the real question here. But personally, I think Kelly Bryant will get the job done, and they will beat Virginia Tech in the fourth quarter. I think it's going to be a last-minute field goal, but I think the kicker's name is Hugo. And if it's not, then whoever the field goal kicker is probably will kick it in right at the end because I think Clemson will take this to the wire. Washington, Oregon State. Oregon State sucks. Washington keeps getting all these cupcake opponents. Jake Browning's probably going to go throw another 3 touchdowns, add to the Heisman resume. Jake Browning's really, really good, but they don't get USC this year, so they're straight. They basically don't have to face any challenges until the championship game, which, sucks for them. But dang, it's just Washington just hasn't played anybody yet. I want to see Washington play a legit team, but not yet. Oklahoma State, Texas Tech. I think Oklahoma State will bounce back. Texas Tech's always a solid team, but they don't have Patrick Mahomes left, so I don't know how they're going to be offensively. Also, Oklahoma State's a little pissed after last week, so I think Mason Rudolph is going to go off this week. And I just think he's going to throw like 3-4 touchdowns, and I think that's going to be a wrap. Because I just think Oklahoma State's talented. They just... Sometimes some good teams fall off because of, like, competition or, like, stuff like that. And I knew they were going to choke. I just didn't know when they were going to choke. But, yeah, they're a good team. They're a solid team. They'll get this one done at Texas Tech, at Jones AT&T. Yeah, I think Oklahoma State will pull away in the second half. It'll be an easy game for them. Ole Miss, Alabama. Alabama's been playing a lot of cupcake teams. I think that Florida, like I said, I believe that Florida State defense was probably the toughest one they faced all season. So here's the thing. Ole Miss has a good defense, but Ole Miss doesn't have Chad Kelly anymore. So Ole Miss is starting to rebuild that team. And Ole Miss has been close. Like last year they were up 24-0, but they choked. And then they lost by like 6 or something. They both put up, I think they were the last team to put up, they hung 40 on Alabama twice in a row. But I don't think it happens this year. I don't think Shea Patterson is really ready for that moment right now. I like Alabama, always solid team, always gets it done. So I think Alabama will steal this one, Probably in a blowout. It won't even be close. It's going to be a blowout. The last game of this boring week, as I think it's going to be. NIU versus San Diego State. NIU knocked off a big program in Nebraska a couple of weeks ago. That got a lot of people. That got the AD fired down there. Now they head to Qualcomm to face off San Diego State. San Diego State was struggling a little bit last week, but I think it was because after beating Stanford, they just have a little bit of a hangover. But I think San Diego State gets this one. They continue their hot run. They're 19. Dang, yeah. I think they'll continue their hot run. Go 5-0. I think it's gonna be close in the first half, like most college football games are. Then the second half, San Diego State will, kind of pull away and just be solid after that. But yeah, gonna be a boring week in college football. I do hope there's some big upsets. Something happening. Like last week was nice, some of the games, the upsets, but this week feels a little dry. We'll see. I I hope it surprises me. I want it to surprise me. That'd be great, but dang, it's just the potential that college football has and the potential it actually shows sometimes. It's just frustrating because it just, sometimes some weeks are just total shit. So, guess we'll have to just, wait and watch. But, yeah, probably a boring week.